Okay, we will bring the city council meeting to order for Monday, November 15th at 6 p.m. in the Town Craft. This meeting will also be attended electronically. Public access to the virtual option may be attained at the following computer, and I'm not going to read all of that. Anyway, let's call this meeting to order.
Berkland.
Yes.
McCauley. Walling.
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, approve the meeting agenda.
Second.
Call the roll.
McCauley.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Berkland.
Yes.
Schott.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, consent agenda. All items under the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion with no separate discussion of these items. Minutes of the November 1st, 2021 regular city council meeting, payments for contract services, claims register and financials, and licenses and permits.
We need to read contract services.
I just got a question before we okay this part. Can I
Yes.
vote and make 2020 downtown improvements? Is that supposed to be 2021?
Well, it's the project we started in 2020.
Okay,
So they just keep that project name through the project life.
okay.
So-
I thought maybe that was in this. spring.
No,
Thank
that
you.
should be,
Makes sense.
I think that's the Bateman Rawson project.
Okay, Barb, thank you. Now I've scrolled down to where I should be. Okay, Bolton and Mink wastewater design, $30,515.20. Bolton and Mink 2020 downtown improvements, $1,718. Bolton and Mink wayfinding master plan, $4,026. Bolton and Mink comprehensive plan, $2,616. Bolton and Mink General Municipal Engineering, $3,917.50 for a total of $42,792.70 with claim registers and financials of $424,045.69, and there are no licenses or permits.
I'll second that.
Please call the roll.
Klein.
Yes.
Berkland.
Yes.
McCauley. Walling.
Yes.
Schott.
Yes. City Administrator's report.
All right, first off, I've got update on the solar project. If you noticed over at City Hall, they have all the steel up. They started pouring the concrete slab under the pavilion next to the trail today. I believe today, all of this, or enough of the solar panels came that they have started putting together the solar panels to actually start putting them up. So you should start to see some of that going up. So it sounds like the solar panels were the kind of a little bit of a lag and issues with transportation and things, but they're finally here and able to start getting put up. So that's very good news. The wayfinding, we approved the payment for that. But we did have a meeting last week, I think it was, and we're setting up a open house sometime in December to get some feedback on the initial designs that Bolton Mink put together for the wayfinding package. And then I did want to note that we do have a ordinance ready for the next fireworks ordinance ready for the next council agenda. And the mayor asked, since he was not able to be here tonight, that we wait until the next meeting to have that on the agenda for the first discussion and possible first reading of that. So that's ready, but that's kind of what I've got. Does anybody have questions for me?
I have had several people that go to the Curry Center that have objected to the white paint on steel arc with the solar panels. They feel that it is not a park-like color.
Okay.
They painted them white, and it would be more appropriate maybe to have them green or brown or something. Melded in a little bit better.
So I guess the reason we went with white is we're planning on doing some LED lighting underneath the solar panels once they're on. And that the white on the columns would reflect that light and pick it up better than a color would. So,
Just passing along what I've heard,
sounds good.
but I've heard it from about 8 people now. So, just thought I'd pass it.
I don't know that the city got anything, but Mr. Height was here and he said that he did receive his letter that he was the candidate. So he was the successful writing candidate.
Yeah, canvas, the official canvas last Tuesday.
Okay.
I received something in the mail on Friday. So, yeah, that said who had won. So, Mr. Height has until the 19th to decide if he doesn't want to accept his write-in. And he has to present that in writing. So, because I think it was 10 days from when the letter was written by the county. So I think that was the 9th.
I think in conversations with the mayor, it sounded like we would just put it on the agenda for discussion and have a first reading if that's the way council wanted to go. So,
Did you want to have another work session before that? I thought that's what we were gonna do.
well, that was discussed, but in conversations with the mayor, he felt that, you know, just even from the last meeting, that we have a good feel of the direction that council wants to go, so let's just have it on the agenda.
I don't
either.
Now, wait, can we get together this week sometime and have a little work session? Any of you available? The whole week, any day?
Pretty much.
I've got some obligations, but I can move stuff around.
I could maybe squeeze
35 minutes be better than nothing. Is there a day you can work?
Wednesday or Friday.
Wednesday or Friday? How about the rest of it?
Good for me.
Okay.
9:30, 10.
I'll just make it work whatever day we want to get there. You want Wednesday or Friday?
Wednesday work for you, Mark? Yeah.
You need to be sure to give Liz enough time to get the
I have to do
agenda out.
24-hour notice.
Yeah.
Well, if we do it Wednesday, that's 24 hours. Wednesday, 9:30?
I'll try not to be. slow.
Well, we'll have to talk to the mayor because he's the one that sets a special meeting, but I'm sure he'll work around it.
Can I officially do that since I'm taking his place tonight? I don't know the answer.
I don't know for sure.
I would think you
Yeah,
could.
we should.
I would suspect that I can. Do we? Okay.
Okay.
I mean, if that time is fine with everyone, let's do it.
Wednesday.
9:30 Friday? Here?
Wait, Friday or Wednesday?
Or Wednesday, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Wednesday.
I've got it down. Okay.
17.
Anybody else here? Open forum, speakers will be asked to step up to the microphone, state your name, address for the record. Anybody for open forum tonight?
Did we have any more mayor council comments?
Apparently not.
I just.
Oh,
wanted to
excuse
make
me, I'm
one.
sorry.
I just wanted to make one. I've had a lot of feedback about the opening where we can dump over here with the city. Everybody loves it that I am. And they said, why don't we do this year round where we can take utensils out and things like that. I've really had some good feedback and people love it to have that happen. And I've had a lot of good feedback on, boy, this is so much better. We don't have as much smoke in the air. people that have breathing problems say, if this works out, can we do this all the time, ban burning? Had some good feedback about this being open, and it's nice to have it on Saturday morning. And several that say, hey, I worked, this worked out beautifully for me. I can get out here Saturday morning. Well, that's good feedback.
Good.
Yeah. I agree with you. The only comment that I've heard is that can't we keep it open until 2 o'clock on Saturdays?
I think that'll be part of the discussion at the end of this season, just overall, how did it go and things like that, or if we need to change anything. So I think once we close it and, after the first of the year, we'll probably look at if that's something that we want to set for a longer period of time from spring through fall.
Well, I was gonna say, the comment that I heard, and I was actually down there on a Saturday, is that people were saying, it was so freaking cold this morning, I didn't want to get out and rake until 10 o'clock and then close it, dude, so I can't get everything done. So,
I think it's wonderful, and to be honest, I'll say this publicly. I think it's a very good sign that the city of Perry cares and listens to our residents. Because we've been hashing this thing out, the pros and the cons and the negatives for a long time. And this is just saying, come at it, do it, it's there.
yeah.
And I
The city
appreciate that.
guys set it up so well. It's clean. People are not using it. It doesn't seem, I don't know, maybe there's the times that people have abused it, but it's neat, it's clean, it's accessible. It's a real asset.
It's a move in the right direction.
Yes.
Marked out well, people know right where to put things.
Okay, now can I go ahead and ask for open forum? Is there anybody here tonight that has any open forum comments to make? Feel free to step up to the microphone. Yes, sir.
Kurt Knight, 1216 31st Street. I have until the 19th to do what?
You have until the 19th to
Refuse.
refuse your write-in to say, I don't want the job that you wrote in for. Don't do it.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, we'll move forward to public hearings. Public hearing on the status of funded activities, SOFA, for the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, Response and Recovery Grant Contract 20-HSG-007. The city received a CDBG on July 7th, 2020, in the amount of $254,000 to assist in the city of Perry's Housing Sustainability Program. The project is being funded in part through a community development block grant provided by the Iowa Economic Development Authority and the city of Perry to assist in the exterior home rehabilitation of low and moderate income homeowners. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and the Iowa Economic Development Authority require cities receiving CDBG funds to hold a public hearing, providing citizens a status of funded activities, SOFA update, as well as the opportunity to comment on the accomplishments of the funded project to date and how CDBG monies have been expended.
We're going to open the hearing at 6:14.
Good evening, Council, Mayor Pro Tem. I'd like to introduce Carla Channing, who is with Region 12, who actually has been administering this project to give you the update.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I just am here to give you a quick update on your CDBG project that you were awarded in late summer of 2020. To date, we, as you have said, received $254,000 of CDBG funds to provide exterior rehabilitation assistance to 6 homeowners. About 3 months ago, we sent an amendment in because we were getting through those first 6 homes at a pretty good clip, and we saw we had a little bit of extra money, so we were able to secure 2 extra projects for a total of 8 for the city. So there will be a total of 8 homes assisted. The assistance is in the form of a 5-year forgivable loan, which means it reduces 20% each year that the homeowner lives there over a 5-year period, and then all is forgiven. And it targets exterior housing sustainability issues. So the bulk of what we're doing with these funds are replacing roofs, windows, siding. We've done some accessibility repairs for people to get into their home where there were steps. We put a ramp in, and we poured some concrete in another home to help a lady get into her home safely with some mobility issues. So doing a lot of really, really good things. Construction is complete on your first 3 projects. I did another final inspection before council meeting tonight, and projects 5 and 6 are slated with the contractor to finish up over the next couple of weeks. I would also like to commend the city. We have found another new contractor here that has worked with us. So 4 of your 6 projects were bid to local contractors. So that means all the materials and everything are staying right here within your town, which is another kind of bonus for this program, is the economic side of it. So all projects will be done well ahead of the June 30th, 2022 deadline. And over the next couple of weeks, I will be submitting some paperwork to the city with Mike to request about $30,000 additional dollars to sink into these homes. It will allow us to save a pot of money we had for one house and use it on a total another property. So we'll be able to assist my properties by using the funds that way. Does anyone have any questions about the program or what we're doing?
Are the addresses for those property available, public information?
Yes, yes. Are they in council package?
I don't believe they're in. We certainly need this.
Okay, because I would find it interesting to drive by those,
Yes.
you know, and
Yes.
look and see, and yeah, I think it's wonderful.
I was looking for them too when they weren't.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
Mike has a couple copies there that we can pass out. So, and we are slated at this time to finish up by June 30th of 2022. Currently, we have $94,647,000 that we have used in rehabilitation for your homes in this over the last year. $15,121 in technical services and $4,367 in administrative fees, equaling 45% of your total budget.
Thank
Were
you.
any written comments received?
Mike, could you send that electronically to us? Thank you.
If that is all, I will be sending over some minutes that I would like you to include in the council minutes tomorrow morning. Okay. Probably you'll have them by 8. Any other questions?
Good. Thank you very much. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's wonderful.
okay, great. All good information. Okay, B, public hearing on the proposed zoning changes of 2 properties. The City Council of the City of Perry will now hold a public hearing on a proposed zoning change for 2 properties in the area consisting of approximately 18 acres bounded on the west by West 8th Street, on the north by former railroad right-of-way, now part of the Raccoon River Valley Trail, on the east by Frog Creek, and on the south by properties located on the north side of Warford and Lucinda Streets. The properties are currently zoned residential duplex, RD, are being requested to be rezoned as a planned unit development, PUD. The proposed PUD would allow for the construction of detached single-family homes to be built over 2 phases on the properties. The PUD ordinance, chapter 166, allows for more potential flexibility in land uses, lot sizes, and building locations than the other zoning districts afford a developer. Motion, please.
No, it's a public hearing.
Oh, but thank you. Sorry.
Opened at 6:20. The other one closed at 6:19.
This is simply the public hearing notice to change our zoning ordinance to allow this project to go forward. Planning and zoning held their public hearing last week, had one attendee, asked a lot of questions, really didn't have a position on the project, other than that it would be a beautiful thing to have in west side of town. So that's basically the summary of what occurred last week, and zoning passed it unanimously to come for recommendation here.
So there were some flags out there to the west of the trail that runs. Is that the entrance area?
There, it could very well be. Basically, it would possibly enter in a second phase from Warford at about West Fourth or West Fifth, what would be Fifth, and also an entrance to Lucinda that kind of dead ends there. So those would be the two. So they could have been very well marking out things when they were doing their surveys.
Now, is there going to be any entrance or exit off of West?
Yes, there would be two. Fact is, that would be in the first phase. It would be coming off.
Like it was cleared and flagged.
Yep, coming off that and actually joining, so it will not be a cul-de-sac. It will allow for, even in the first phase, basically somebody to loop around on that.
Lucinda?
Yep, around, not from Lucinda, from, that would be Patee and
Patee,
to
St.
St.
Paul.
Paul. So it would come off of those, join, so it'd allow for somebody to make a loop. And then a later development would be south. So the first development would be 33 units, single-family homes, and the second one would be another 21 for a total of 54 units possible. So, and actually the builder, I don't know if the engineer or Ivan are online. I didn't see that they necessarily are. But if you have any particular questions, Brad, are you online?
Brad might be the phone number.
But if you have any particular questions that I can't answer, he might be able to if he's online, or Ivan, so.
Yeah, Mike and I have talked a lot. It seems like it's a really great investment in that side of town that generally doesn't see as much investment. So hopefully that will help build some momentum to bring some more attention to that side of town. I know Mark has been working with Billy Doublebliss quite a bit on cleaning up his property from in general, but also derecho damage to get that all put back together as it should. I think he tore down a house that we've been working on for a while, so things are progressing out there.
Yeah, if you actually go out that way, you can tell that there's been some improvement on that side. There's still
We
some-
didn't go that way. We went-
It will make a tremendous difference out on that area.
It'll be
Yeah.
nice, it'll be a nice project. It truly will.
And a
Now,
really
these are
beautiful.
gonna have basements too.
That is the proposal, that they would put basements under these. So they would be, I think, roughly 1,600 square feet homes and then with basements. So about 3,200 feet conceivably. And I think that's not including the garage. So that would be that aspect.
Pretty good stuff.
So,
What target range are they?
they're, I think, looking in at about that 250 to 300 price range again, I think is what they're looking at. We haven't actually heard that number, but given the way costs have come up, that's probably where they're at.
Seems like. That's the way it is.
That's the market today.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
new construction.
I know.
Yeah.
So.
Unbelievable.
Anybody else?
Next public hearing.
We're gonna close that one at 6:24.
Okay, public hearing on the proposed development agreement with Greater Dallas County Development Alliance. The City Council of the City of Perry will now hold a public hearing to receive public comment on the action to approve and enter into a development agreement between the city and Greater Dallas County Development Alliance. If approved, payments in the development agreement to Greater Dallas County Development Alliance would not exceed $200,000 and would not be a general obligation of the city, but payable from incremental property tax revenues generated within the Perry urban renewal area. Payments made under the agreement would be subject to annual appropriation by the city council. Comments?
at 625.
So this is our dues to the Greater Dallas County Development Alliance. I think this is the second time, so this is kind of an extension of the first agreement that we did. And we always kind of do it a little bit after the census comes out. So this year was pushed back a little bit later than what we would normally have numbers, but we did round up this year. I'm on the executive committee for the Alliance. We're taking a different look at membership structure and dues. We've always had a pretty hard line in the sand with a population-based dues. But with, every community is different, has different things going on. You could have, a smaller community that is seeing a lot of activity and growth on one side of the county, and a community that's the same population that doesn't have as much going on. And, one's getting a lot more attention, but it's paying the same as another. So we're going to more of a, discussion-based dues of where they feel that they fit into a due structure and see the benefits. So with the $2.50 per capita dues that we had just been in our new population, we would have been right around $19,500 and some dollars every year for our dues and membership to the Alliance. But we just decided to round that up to 20,000 a year, just a clean round number. The exciting thing is, historically over the last 10 or so years, we haven't had participation from some of the metro communities in the organization. But we're starting to have better conversations with them, and some of them have already made commitments to join the organization. So as an organization, we're very excited about that growth in our participation in the Alliance, and making sure that all of the communities are at the table for discussions to really help build up the whole county. So. Also, we'll count this as the Alliance's annual report.
Any other comments?
Any questions on that?
What exactly does the Alliance want?
So a lot of, mostly staff time. So they provide a lot of staff support to the member communities for projects. So, and that kind of ebbs and flows. Obviously right now, Alex and his staff are putting a lot of time into Project Hawk over in Woodward. But, they've put a lot of time into our certified site projects that have landed in Perry, Van Meter certified site. So they do a lot with Adele too. So, but it's that staff time to help support, communities with projects, regardless if they have full-time economic development staff or not. So, and that's another area that's kind of a difference. Some have full departments. We're lucky to just have Mike and all he does, but before Mike, they were really heavy lean on for projects and prospects. So that's where most of the funding goes is, general staff helping communities, and then also marketing the county as a whole. It's a place to do business and live, work, and bicycle and walk dogs.
Yeah.
So,
Anything else?
yeah, there's public and private.
How many members are?
Oh, that's a good question.
Who's on the executive board?
I'm currently the president. And then we have Kyle Michael from Van Meter, Ryan Peterson from Impact 7G, others as well. It's a good mix of private and public.
Moving forward to old business.
Close that at 6:30.
Thank you. Resolution approving development agreement with the Greater Dallas County Development Alliance, authorizing annual appropriation tax increment payments and pledging certain increment revenues to the payment of the agreement. This resolution would approve the development agreement with Greater Dallas County Development Alliance. Under the development agreement, the city would provide annual appropriation economic development payments to the alliance in an amount not to exceed $200,000 in aggregate, which would not be a general obligation of the city, but payable from incremental property tax revenues generated within the Perry urban renewal area. Payments made under the agreement would be subject to an annual appropriation by the city council.
I make a motion to approve resolution approving development agreement with Greater Dallas County Development Alliance, authorizing annual appropriation tax increment payments and pledging certain tax revenues to the agreement.
Comments? Discussion?
Any other questions on the alliance?
Seems like it's a good organization.
Yep. Yep, absolutely.
Would you call the roll, please?
Klein,
Yes.
McCauley, Kirkland,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Schott.
Yes. Approval of pay application number 5 for the wastewater treatment facility improvements. Pay application number 5 in the amount of $555,154.65 to Woodruff Construction for the construction of the wastewater treatment facility improvements. To date, total payments requested by the contractor is 8.2% of the total amount of work to be completed under the contract. All documents have been reviewed and signed by the engineer and are recommended for approval. Motion.
I'll second that.
Discussion, comments?
We do have Andrew on Zoom and Dave in person. If anybody has questions or on the project or want to get an update on the project.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So about 8.2% complete on the money side of the project, and they're about 14% complete on the time. So they've been working on getting procurement of materials. They've had some trouble with delays in getting certain items that have pushed back the construction of the clarifier specifically. But on this pay app here, the primary items that are charged for are pipe installation and excavations for the dump station, sludge holding tank, and the operations building. There's also a charge there for dewatering. They did run into some water when they're excavating for the operations building. Overall, things are going pretty well. And I know they're excited to get more work done out there once they get the materials in hand to get it done.
Great. Anything to add, Dave?
Well, I'll just tell you what's actually happening in the real world out there is they removed the old primary clarifier by the pre-treatment building that nobody knew was there. And they have some concrete forms in place for one of the 85-foot clarifiers. And that is a large clarifier. And they're starting on the other one as I was leaving work today. Rebars installed for the operation building basement. I think they're gonna do about, looks like 2 tiers of rebar. It's a slow process, you know. Pull it in, tie it up, cut your wire, it just takes a long time, stuff like that. I don't know, that's what.
You pleased with the progress?
What's that?
Are you pleased with the progress?
Oh, yeah, it's looking good. They're staying organized, you know, I mean, they come out and they, put some more grass seed down today. And things are looking pretty good, really. I mean, we're not getting in their way, they're staying out of our way. We're functioning. You know, they have a whole semi trailer full of insulated blankets, so if they do pour concrete, they're gonna put those blankets on the top. I mean, it's a big semi, and it's all full of blankets. So I assume they're gonna pour. Yes. I don't know. The way things are.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Andrew.
All right. McCauley?
Yes.
Walling?
Yes.
Kirkland?
Yes.
Schott?
Yes.
Klein?
Yes.
Move on to new business. Resolution certifying TIF debt to county auditor. Chapter 403 of the Iowa Code allows implementation of an urban renewal area and the utilization of tax increment financing for certain public improvements. The city of Perry has established an urban renewal plan and project, and by ordinance has established an urban renewal tax increment area. Fiscal year 2023 Perry Tax Increment Finance District has an outstanding debt in TIF District 25014, Original Urban Renewal Area, in the amount of $348,449 for fiscal year 2023. This needs to be certified to the Dallas County Auditor for the collection of taxes from the district for the retirement of outstanding debt by December 1st of 2021. Comments?
I
Motion?
make a motion to approve resolution certifying TIF debt to county.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
The next few are Susie's.
So what we're going to do, this is for fiscal year 2023. We are going to certify the debt of 200,000 for the Greater Dallas County Development Alliance dues. And then what we need to do, since we don't need all of the increment to pay off our debt, what we need to do is release some back. So what we'll do is we're requesting $348,449 for the TIF debt, and that's for $20,000 for the dues for Greater Dallas County Development Alliance. We've got debt payments for the 2020 GO bond for the downtown project, 28th Street and 28th Street project. We've got a development agreement payment for TC&B. We've got the community economic development initiatives for the city of Perry that fund our community economic development department. And then we also have the $25,000 payment to Perry Economic Development for the hotel package.
For a total of 348.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Klein?
Yes.
Kirkland?
Yes.
McCauley?
Yes.
Walling?
Yes.
Schott?
Yes. Resolution accepting the annual urban renewal fiscal year 21 report. Iowa House File 2460 requires the annual urban renewal report to be approved by the city council and submitted to the Department of Management of the state of Iowa by December 1st, 2021. Once approved by the council, Finance Officer Susie Moorhead will submit the report to the Department of Management of the state of Iowa as required by law.
I would pass a resolution accepting annual fiscal year 2020.
So what the previous resolution did was certify a new debt and request payment for next year's payments. What this report does is is tell the state what we did last year. So this is for 2021. It's a report that shows what all of our TIF funds were spent on, the balances, what's left for payments due. It shows what the assessed and taxable values are for the renewal areas, and it shows what we released back. So at the end of the fiscal year 2021, our fund balance in the TIF fund is $65,175.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, would you call the roll, please?
Walling,
Yes.
McCauley, Berglund.
Yes.
Schott,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
A resolution accepting the fiscal year 2021 annual report. Chapter 384.22 of the Code of Iowa requires that the city annual financial report be published each year and a copy of the report be furnished to the auditor of the state of Iowa. The city of Perry will publish the city annual financial report in the Perry Chief in the November 18th edition as required by law. The annual financial report was prepared with the fiscal year 2020 to 2021 year-end financials from the city of Perry. Susie, more comments? Call the roll, please.
Right.
Excuse me.
Let's do Susan.
Now, Susan.
Yeah.
I turned it around.
For fiscal year 2021, and this report does include the Perry Waterworks as well as the city of Perry, we had revenues in the amount of $25,685,299, and then we had expenditures in the amount of $22,975,429. So that leaves us a balance between the city and the waterworks of a little over 7.5 million. And this report is published in the Perry Chief each year, and it breaks down the revenues per type, like taxes, local option sales tax, road use tax, charges for services, and it also breaks down the expenditures by department and then by fund type, whether it's general fund, special revenue fund, permanent funds which can't be spent, or the business type or proprietary funds. So this is just a tool that all cities fill out the same report. So it can be, so you can compare apples to apples.
Thank you, Susan. Call the roll, please.
McCauley, Klein,
Yes.
Berglund,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Schott,
Yes. Item D, resolution approving the fiscal year 2021 Iowa DOT Street Finance Report. The Iowa Department of Transportation requires cities to submit an annual street finance report. Finance Officer Susie Moorhead has completed the 2021 fiscal year street finance report that details expenditures on street maintenance, snow removal, and construction. With approval, the report will be submitted as required.
I make a motion, we pass resolution approving the fiscal year 2021 Iowa DOT street finance report.
This splits out, this report also, this is new this year. It used to be due in September, now it's due the same time as the annual financial report. And then the Department of Management has also made it a little more similar to how the annual financial report is, so it can be a little more easily understood. For road use tax, we collected $1,152,699 in road use tax. We spent for operating expenses $828,399, and we transferred out different funds $260,000, which for the road use tax fund, the street department, we don't have to levy for those benefits for them. We transfer $130,000 for their benefits to the benefit fund, and then we transfer $130,000 to the HMA asphalt project fund. So every year we transfer $130,000 out of here, along with around $100,000 for the local option sales tax. So that way we can do one big project, one big overlay project every 5 years, and not have to, go into a large amount of debt for it. We can pay for it. We don't have to levy for it. We can pay for it with road use. So at the end of the fiscal year, the balance in the road use tax fund was $319,225. And road use tax fund, that includes street maintenance, the traffic lights, street lighting, that expense, as well as snow removal.
Berkeley,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
McCauley, Schott,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Item E, resolution setting a public hearing on proposed re-precincting boundaries. After the federal census every 10 years, cities are required by law to review the ward's precincts boundaries to determine if the existing boundaries comply with the current law. In order to comply with state law, the boundary lines for the ward/precincts have been drawn per the census blocks as required and as best fit to conform to the previously established boundaries while complying with the law. As part of this process, the county auditor has reviewed the proposed re-precincting map and provided no comments or concerns with their review. The next step is to set the public hearing to receive public comment on the proposed re-precincting map. This resolution will set the required public hearing for December 6th, 2021, starting at 6 p.m. in the second floor room of the Towncraft Building located at 1122 Willis Avenue, Perry, Iowa. State law requires that the city adopt the new boundaries for the wards, precincts, no later than 60 days after legislative districts have become law. Governor Reynolds executed Senate File 621 on November 4th, 2021, meaning the process must be completed by January 3rd, 2022. Comments?
I make a motion that resolution setting a public hearing on precinct.
Do you have a second?
Yep.
Okay, I missed it. Thank you.
So I think we'll go over it more in depth at the public hearing, but really not much for changes other than a census block that Census Bureau changed that will move around and add or whatever. So Liz has been the re-precincting master this go around. Has been working on that, so I'll let her present on that. At that public hearing.
With what?
With graphics. No, it just adds a few streets. It's basic. Take a-
Anything else? Call the roll, please.
Walling,
Yes.
McCauley, Berkeley,
Yes.
Schott,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Resolution approving a professional service agreement with Bolton and Mink for Weiss Park improvements. This resolution would accept the professional service agreement with Bolton and Mink for Weiss Park improvements. Casey Byers, project manager, and Matthew Ferrier, principal engineer with Bolton and Mink, have prepared a scope of services for the improvement project, which includes final layout, design, and construction documentation, and bidding services for the improvements. The estimated fees for this scope of work are $7,400. Motion?
I make a motion, we pass resolution approving professional service agreement with Bolton and Mink for Weiss Park improvements.
I'll second.
We have
Come on.
Mr. Anderson here.
Mr.
to
Anderson.
Talk about this project.
So this is about $120,000 playground. It'll be an all-inclusive playground that's going to go basically right next to the current playground system that is in Weiss Park. We've got some stakeholders here. So the Rotary Club has been raising funds for this project. So kudos to the Rotary Club. And also a big stakeholder here is the Weiss Foundation, who's putting up quite a bit of funds for this project. So It's a really big deal. This agreement with Bolton and Mink is basically for them to see that kind of process from start to finish on these all-inclusive playgrounds. For instance, there's different play features on it, and the concrete and the surfacing underneath each play surface or each play structure needs to be different thickness, and all that needs to be inspected, and that's what Bolton and Mink's going to kind of see through to the end. So it'll be a really nice addition. The playground that's currently there now might have another about 5 years left on it. So then we'll be looking at replacing that and then carrying over the surface. So it'll be all that. And if you've seen the new playground over at the elementary, they've got that nice poured rubber. That's exactly what we're doing. Boland Recreation designed the elementary school's playground set just before we designed ours. So I was sure to tell him, I don't want anything like, I want different, we don't want to duplicate any features there. So it's going to be a great addition to the park. I'm really excited about it. It's a fun new project.
Relative to.
It'll be it'll be within the mulched area currently, but just to the north. So there's a set of swings, I think, that are all kind of in there. We're going to repurpose those swings in Weiss Park. We've already expanded the Weiss Park, or the Perkins Park, I'm sorry, playground. So we're going to shift that equipment over to there, and then we'll replace. So we're not losing anything currently in Weiss Park. We're just going to take some stuff, and we were able to incorporate some new stuff. It's good. It's all good. I'm really happy with it. Yeah, it is good. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's a really big deal for us. I mean, we haven't, for me, this is like a really nice, fun, it's not the rec center remodel, right? It's a playground outside. So it's a new feature for the park. It's great.
Plus it'll have that poured rubber surface on that.
Yeah, yep.
That's really nice.
Yep, and working with Bolton and Mink and Boland, we're able to kind of prep that so that when we go to replace the next one, we'll be able to just kind of create that whole area. It'll be that type of surfacing. So it's good.
What's the lifespan of that rubberized surface?
About 25 years, I think. Yeah. Yeah, the current playground that's there is about 25 years old. And that's about their lifespan.
It's getting a little rough.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've talked to a lot of people, that come to the rec and they're like, yeah, it was built when I was a kid and they played on it, it's been around for a long time. Time flies, So anyway.
I just wish I was a kid when it was built.
Right?
I was gonna say, I remember the big deal that it was when that was put in, and that's brand new. I don't know why John's messing around with it. It's new.
Yeah, it gets a lot of usage though. I mean, my wife and I take the kids there and it's always busy. So it'll be fun to see it have some more
features.
Yep,
that's for sure.
Good.
Any other comments, questions, concerns? Call the roll, please.
Berkland.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
McCauley. Walling.
Yes.
Schott.
Yes, thank you. Ordinances. An ordinance amending the Code of Ordinance, Chapter 165. Zoning regulations. The Planning and Zoning Commission provided recommendation that the following parcels generally described as being bounded on the north by former railroad right-of-way, on the east by Frog Creek, on the south by properties located on the north side of Warford and Lucinda Streets, and on the west behind properties on the east side of West 8th Street be rezoned from residential duplex RD to a planned unit development PUD. The area defined contains approximately 18 acres more or less. With passage of this ordinance, it would amend the official zoning map of the city of Perry, Iowa to reflect the rezoning. First reading.
I move that we pass the resolution to accept the ordinance amending the Code of Ordinance, Chapter 165. zoning regulations for the
I'll second.
Comments, concerns, questions? Mhm.
Absolutely.
Walling,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Kirkland,
Yes.
Holly, Schott.
Yes.
I guess I would say it'll be on the next agenda for the second and third reading unless we wanted to do them at this meeting, given that there's really been no comments, but otherwise it'll be on December 6th meeting.
Oh,
Anything else?
That's it.
We'll call this meeting adjourned. Yeah, yes, yes. I told Katie this afternoon, I said, I'm going to